Hey, what's up, guys? This is David Chase Taylor of 911truther.org. Today is March 12th, 2024. So, based on breaking news and events, it appears that CIA headquarters located beneath CERN at Lake Geneva in Switzerland is going to stage a earth-changing event just prior to, during, or right after the 2024 Russian presidential election slated to take place across Russia on March 15th through 17th of 2024. So exactly what the CIA is planning to do is obviously not known, but their end goal is World War III with Russia. So they're going to use this upcoming election, which I believe is the fifth election that Vladimir Putin is in, to basically create chaos in Russia, in Europe, in the United States, as pretext for an escalating international crisis designed to trigger World War III. So, firstly, in respect to one Vladimir V. Putin, he has three different opponents. Nikolay Kartanov, he's with the Communist Party, Leonid Slutsky with the LDPR Party, and Vladislav Danovkov with the People's Party. And so essentially, one or more of these candidates will likely be assassinated, most likely courtesy of the CIA, and then it will be blamed on Putin. If you recall back on February 16th of 2024, Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny was assassinated, and this assassination was subsequently blamed on Putin. So it's possible that the CIA will assassinate one or more of these people, including Putin, in order to create a political power vacuum in Moscow designed to trigger World War III in the aftermath of a CIA puppet being installed post-Putin. There's also the realistic possibility that the CIA will neutralize Putin in some form or fashion, possibly under the guise of an assassination, an arrest, possibly Interpol, or some other fashion prior to this election, which Putin is currently polling at 75%. We don't know if those polls are accurate or not, but he is slated to win in a landslide. That being said, it's also highly likely that the CIA will stage a false flag Russian biological, chemical, nuclear, radiological, cyber, or weaponized contagion attack, possibly targeting Kiev or Greater Ukraine, Stockholm or Greater Sweden, Warsaw or Greater Poland, Berlin or Greater Germany, Vienna or Greater Austria, Oslo or Greater Norway, or Helsinki and or Greater Finland, and or Stockholm or Greater Sweden, if I didn't already say that. So you'll recall back on May 25th of 2021, the CIA staged this anti-terrorism drill in Serbia with Russian troops, and this appears to be the group of men which will overthrow one of the aforementioned capital cities under the guise of a Russian attack. So in order to highlight NATO and the European nations, especially in Eastern Europe, just prior to an attack, the CIA staged the second time. They staged the arrest of Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan Tate today, March 12th, in Romania. On March 7th, Biden, during his State of the Union, had Swedish Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson the same day that Sweden was invited into NATO, making them an official member. And then today, on March 12th, President Biden is hosting Polish Prime Minister Duda or Polish President Duda and Polish Prime Minister Tusk at the White House. And if you'll recall, back on March 1st, they staged a leak of this German phone call basically talking about blowing up a bridge in Ukraine. So essentially what's going on is that Sweden just joined NATO. NATO is inching closer and closer to Russia, and so this is designed to provide a timely motive for a false flag Russian attack. As I mentioned, it could be a biological Cbrn attack targeting one of the aforementioned capital, but the most likely scenario is that the CIA brings down this rocket, which was launched on April 20th of 2023 from Bohica, Florida, or Texas, excuse me. And it's called SpaceX Starship. So this is it's the largest rocket that's ever been launched. It's currently airborne in low Earth orbit, or it's attached to the International Space Station. It's just waiting to come down. And this is what they'll claim was a Russian nuclear attack. And so Ukraine, Sweden, Finland, Norway, Denmark, Germany, Poland, Austria, all these countries in the Balkans, in Europe, are potential targets. And so this is what the most likely scenario is. Then, if in the event of a false flag Russian nuclear attack, Russia, which is already under martial law, will predictably cancel the elections, and then Putin will even appear more as a dictator. So anyway, shit's about to hit the fan between now and March 17th, essentially, in Russia, or something involving Russia. So we know that much. The CIA may neutralize one of the Putin's opponents, may neutralize Putin. They may stage a Cbrn-related attack in Moscow, in neighboring cities, countries. But the most likely scenario is that they stage a false flag Russian Icbm strike in Europe and or the United States or Canada. That being said, there's also the possibility that the CIA is going to stage, because during the 2020 election, they said that there was Russian interference into the election with AI and bots and so on and so forth. So there's also the realistic possibility that the CIA is going to stage a cyber attack targeting the Russian election where Putin loses. And then this will be used to basically create a scandal and escalating international crisis designed to trigger World War III. One of the ways they may do this is with a deep fake video or a deep fake or AI photo, possibly Putin with women, with terrorists, with Trump, with something to basically, right before the election, to sway the popular vote. Because the CIA is done with Putin, and Putin being a KGB man, he knows how things operate in Russia and how they don't operate. And because they want to turn Russia upside down and trigger World War III, which Putin hasn't thus far allowed, so they have to neutralize him in some way. So just to recap, shit's about to hit the fan on an epic level with Russia on the date of March 12th, March 13th, March 14th, March 15th, March 16th, and March 17th till the end of the election. And it will most likely be disputed. It'll either be a Putin landslide, or they'll try to claim that one of these candidates was able to knock Putin out of the way, which is highly unlikely. But regardless, shit's about to hit the fan surrounding the Russian presidential election on March 15th through 17th. And it will most likely involve some sort of false flag Cbrn attack or a false flag Russian nuclear missile strike targeting Ukraine or one of the new NATO nations, such as Sweden, or the NATO countries which are basically being used in a proxy war against Russia, namely Sweden, Finland, Poland, Ukraine, etc. And yeah, so that's basically the most likely scenarios going on, is that some sort of World War III moment is about to transpire leading up to this, and that's why the CIA is staging these various meetings, and all these events are going on at the same time, because they're designed to culminate, basically designed to provoke Russia into allegedly committing these attacks, which will of course be false flag in nature. And then once these attacks, whether they're nuclear, biological, radiological, whatever, commence, then we will go straight into World War III. If you look at the NATO border with Russia, it's stacked from the south in Ukraine all the way up to Finland. It's stacked with troops on both sides. Coincidentally, there is an operation, a NATO operation going on right now. It's called Operation Steadfast Defender. It's all 31 nations. Now it would be 32 with Sweden joining on March 7th. And it's all 32 nations. It's over 500,000 troops and like 15,000 vehicles, and it's basically World War III, but they haven't declared it. And it's also imperative to know. I just found this out this morning. If you'll give me 1 second here, I'll pull it up. But basically, there's another drill. Which appears to be the counter to Operation Steadfast Defender, the NATO drill the war game currently going on. And this one is with Russia, China, and Iran, who would be the Axis countries in a World War III scenario. And it's currently going on in the Gulf of Oman. And this starts on the 12th, today, and goes through the 15th, leading up to the election in Russia, coincidentally. And this involves the navies of Russia, China, and Iran in the Gulf of Oman, with Azerbaijan, India, Kazakhstan, Oman, Pakistan, and South Africa. Their navies are sitting ducks, literally, because they're going to be watching these drills. So we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 nation. So you have 32 nations of NATO doing a war game. And then you have 9 nations of the Axis doing a war game. And so these are going to somehow most likely collide in some sort of fashion. It may be a Pakistani attack on an Indian ship, but the most likely scenario is that since the United States just formed, I forget the name, but I was reading about it yesterday, they just formed a new security pact to get ships through the Red Sea without being attacked, and I forget the name of it. It's a maritime security operation that NATO is running, and the Red Sea is right around the corner from the Gulf of Oman, so you can see where this is going. So you have 9 nations and their respective navies chilling in the Gulf of Oman, and then you have this new, I forget what the name is. I'm just going to look it up on my phone for a second. Oh, okay. So, it was the European Union. They just launched a new, it's called, it's the Red Sea and the Gulf of Oman. So basically it's a new European Union operation along with the U.S. Navy, and it's to repel Houthi attacks, which are basically Iran-backed attacks, allegedly. And it's called Operation Commander. So, yeah, it's in the Indian Ocean and the Red Sea, and it's basically like the basically ships are going to protect other ships going through there. So you can see where this is going. This is going to a Gulf of Tonkin, USS Maine type event where they blow a few of these ships up to start World War III. So anyways, this is working on multiple fronts. So anyway, some shit is going to hit the fan regarding surrounding the Russian election, and they're going to use this to start World War III or to knock Putin out of the way, so that they can install a hardline communist dictator slated to trigger World War III. So anyways, in closing, as I do in all my videos, in the event that shit hits the fan with Russia in any form or fashion, if they stage a Cbrn attack or a nuclear missile strike, false flag, or what have you, I kindly ask that you download this video and share it with local, state, and federal law enforcement, military, and intelligence officials, as well as with local, national, and international media outlets. Peace.